Hey there, this is Kanako here, and today we'll be talking about Smart Data Platform. Smart Data Platform is a data science automation software. Through Smart Data Platform, you can talk to your database just in natural human language. You can retrieve data, you can ask for data insights, you can understand your database schema, and also this platform is aware of your business context. Secondly, you have the Smart Data Visualizer where you can create dashboards by simply providing the KPI that you want to track and its corresponding details. Thirdly, you have the Smart Data Analytics tab, which is a plug and play module. You can pick any analytical or machine learning technique, plug in your data, and just run the analysis. I'll talk about each of these components in detail, but before that, let us quickly look at the sample business context of a hypothetical business and the underlying database. In this example, we'll be talking about a hypothetical business called Flipkart. It's an e-commerce business, and we have two documents which are the business context for this business. So these are about 20 pages in total. Then we have the database for this business. We have customers table, which stores customer information. Similarly, we have employees, we have the financial data, we have the marketing data, we have the products data. So this way, this business has 5 different tables. Now, let us start using the Smart Data Query. We'll start with the simple data retrieval task. Give me a list of customers in the US who did a total sales of more than $1,000. There is a bit of latency, but the code needs to be optimized in order to reduce the latency. All right, so as you can see, we have the SQL query that will give us the list of all the customers who have done transactions more than $1,000. Now here, as you can see, there is a small box for user feedback. This is a very important box because the query generated improves every time based on the user feedback. So this tool incorporates reinforcement learning through human feedback. So every time a user provides a feedback on the query that is generated, the accuracy of it, the quality of it, based upon that, the model learns itself and improves in the next query that it generates. Over time, as users use this tool, the tool performs better. We also have the list of data over here. So list of all the customer ID, their corresponding total sales. And at the bottom, we have the visualization where we have a simple bar graph displaying all the customer, their names and their corresponding total sales. So this is how the Smart Data Query tab works. Now this is a data retrieval or data insight question. Now let us try to understand our database schema through this portal. This is a very common problem that data scientists often face. Given the large amount of data set that is there in the company, they often do not know what information sits in what table and in what column. So we'll ask this tool a simple question. Which table will give supplier ID for a given product? Which table will give supplier ID for a given product? So as you can see, we get the result over here. To find the supplier ID for a given product, you should refer to the products table. Here are the relevant details. Table name, column name is supplier ID. So it will help you search through your database. Now, let us look at the third use case of this tab, which is understanding the business context. So in my business context document, I have randomly added one small line in the page number 9. So as you can see, I've added a simple note over here that brand E coffee and brand E moisturizer were flagged as hazardous by the US regulatory authority, and they were discontinued after January and June of 2024 respectively. Now let us try to understand if this tool is able to fetch relevant information based on the business context. So we'll give a new query over here and we'll ask which products were flagged by the US regulators. So as you can see, it has given a list of the names of those products which were discontinued after January 2024, and Brandy Moisturizer was discontinued after June 2024. So to the end user, it has understood the business context and provided the relevant information. And for this, we will give a feedback of 10. Now let us understand the Smart Data Visualizer tab. In this tab, you can provide what is the KPI that you want to track. So for in our example, we want to track revenue per country. You can provide business definition, which simply means total revenue for all the products in the US dollar by each country. KPI calculation formula, which simply is sum of all the revenue in US dollar. Then you can also provide what are the suggested tables or columns that it should use to construct the query. What is the output data type? For this result, we want to measure in currency. Data granularity, we want to track it on a monthly basis for the last 180 days. And then finally, we can either let the AI decide the chart type it want to pick, or we can specify whether we want it a line graph, whether we want a bar chart or a pie chart. And then finally, once we click on the generate visualization, it will create this interactive visualization where you can see the revenue distributed by each month. You also have the filters that you can apply: the country filter, the segment filter, the product filter. You can see the data, you can see AI powered summary. So the AI powered summary will simply state the observations, it will not provide recommendations or interpretations, and it will also share the underlying SQL query that was used to generate this KPI. So if in case there is any error, the user can edit the SQL query, update the SQL query, and the KPI will adjust based on the updated SQL query. So this way, generating dashboards to track important KPIs becomes very fast and accessible. Now let us look into the third tab, which is Smart Data Analytics tab. In this tab, we have different analytical and machine learning modules, which are simply a plug and play module. So you simply go into that module, plug in your data, plug in your columns, and run the analysis. You do not need to write any kind of code. So as you can see, we have different analytical techniques over here. So for example, you can perform exploratory data analysis on your underlying data. You can do forecasting, which basically will forecast your revenue, sales, depending upon the data that you provide. Similarly, you can perform A/B testing and so on and so forth. You can also perform analysis on your unstructured data. Let's say you have a call center where you have customer call transcripts and you want to analyze those call transcripts to understand what are the top concerns, what are the most frequently reason people call into your business, and what are the top complaints, what are the features that you want to work upon. So you can plug and play this analytical module and analyze your customer call transcript. So let us look at one of the modules, which is cohort analysis. So let us look at cohort analysis. As you can see, when you hover your mouse over a particular module, it will tell you a brief description of what the module does, what are its benefits, and give you a simple example. So let us look at cohort analysis. Okay, you can either upload your data through a CSV file or you can link it to your database. But for our example, let us upload a simple CSV file. The file has been uploaded successfully. Let us pick up what are the columns that we will be using. So we'll be using customer ID to count the retention. We'll be using invoice date. We want to track it on a monthly basis. We can also select a particular date range that we want to analyze. And there are also pre-processing options, which allows the users to select how they want to handle outliers, how they want to handle null values, and so on and so forth. And finally, you have the option to select whether you want to see LLM insights or not. So let us run the analysis. There is a bit of latency. Again, the code needs to be optimized to improve the latency. All right. So now we have the final. All right. So now we have the final result. Here, as you can see, we have the retention analysis data for each cohort. What was the number of users that we have, and for each month, how many of them were retained. We have the retention heat map on the left hand side. We have the cohort trend on the right hand side. And then at the bottom, we have the AI generated insights. So here, AI generated insights will simply state the observations or anomalies that it observes in the data. So this is all about the smart data platform.